Three, two, one.
Commuting into the office and literally being on my deathbed, I was like, nah, tech was the word I did not want to hear. I don't want to hear it. She's like, you can work remote. I didn't want to hear it. And then literally, randomly out of nowhere, I see AO, Anthony O'Neill, and Cyrus. Literally, right when I said, I don't care no more, giving up. I came across the video and I was like, wow, tech sales from home? Huh? I said, okay, let me just dive into
it. How are you doing today? Are you doing well?
Yes, I am doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain at all.
Awesome.
I'm assuming that if you're watching this for the first time, you may not know exactly how this flows, but for those that have been watching, we're going to start from the boots, which is symbolic of the journey Paris has taken to get to where she is right now. And we're going to take that journey all the way up to the brain, which is symbolic of the mindset one needs to have to be Paris, where she is right now, but also to scale from there. So without further ado, let's start from the very beginning, Paris, because honestly, the beginning, it's a good place to start. So tell us about your upbringing and tell us about where you came from.
Sure. Let's see. Born and raised in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I have a twin sister. Let's see. Was raised in a single mama household. Was homeschooled, and early on, I began my interest in tech. I would say probably like 10 years old. So that's pretty much it, like upbringing wise.
So you said that you were homeschooled, and I'm like, trust me, I like that because we're actually starting to homeschool our kids this Friday. So we literally, the last day is tomorrow. So I want to definitely dive into that. Can you talk a little bit about your experience as you were being homeschooled?
Yeah, homeschooling was an amazing experience. I did go to elementary from kindergarten up until 5th grade. Like the end of 5th grade was when our mom took us out of school. I always say this all the time, your girl had a learning disability. She was a little slow in school. So mom thought it would be a good idea to homeschool us herself, and we just kept going up. I think homeschooling is amazing because you get more so of a one-on-one type of interaction with your teachers. Like your learning style could be whatever you want it to be. And I think that's what helped so much. Just having the ability to like move at our own pace and not trying to keep up with the other classmates and all of that. So it was awesome.
I think that's the key right there, is learning to find your way. And that's one thing that we hope to do when we homeschool our children, is help them find their way, because it's tricky. It is tricky because each child is different. Now we have 6. So you imagine we've seen a plethora of different, whether it's personalities, whether it's different people that can learn really well. Like our oldest son, he doesn't even come home with homework most of the time. He's before he's done with class, and he's like has a 3.8 GPA or whatever, but he's quiet. He's a totally different person, and school works for him versus another person. And so that's something I thought was interesting. But I'm not gonna skip over the fact that you said you were a twin. Talk about that, being a twin, and how was that experience for you?
Yes, I have a twin sister. It's like having your own best friend 24/7 that lives with you growing up. We don't live together because we're grown now, but it was amazing. She's awesome. And yeah, she's in school right now to be a doctor of dental surgery. So she's graduating soon, and I'm so proud of her. She'll be the first doctor in our family.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching this video. This video is actually sponsored by Course Careers. So whether you're interested in breaking in as a tech sales representative, if you're interested in actually doing IT or digital marketing, not only do they have free introductory courses for you right now, go to the description and check that out, but they also have $50 off that you could get through me, Joseph 50. That's right, $50 off through Joseph 50. So if you're interested in getting into that course, any which one, whether it's again tech sales, IT, or digital marketing, look no further. Go down to the description below, click on the link, and sign up right now. What are you waiting for? So you have a dentist and a doctor, and the first person in medicine, I would say, that's your twin sister. But I learned a little bit about your story before that. You're like the entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little bit about the mindset that you developed at a young age for entrepreneurship?
Yes. So I've been raised in a household with a mama that owned her own business. I've only seen her like own a business. She never worked for anyone. So she really, being homeschooled, taught us the ins and outs of a business. And I always said, I just need that one stepping stool so I can just own my own business. Because sometimes you need a little investment to get started. Yeah. But seeing her really started, I guess, my passion and everything of business.
Nice. I'm going to stick there for a little bit. You said your mom always had a business. That's pretty cool. What did she used to have a business in? What was services that she provided or products that she had?
Yep. So she had a daycare center for about 20 years, and then she moved over into the home healthcare agency. So she owns that right now. And she's been in that field for 10 years now, been doing very well. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. So with that being said, I could see how she has really influenced you both, because you have your sister working in healthcare, right? You're working in business, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So as you're getting older, you're now in, what is it? Middle school, junior high. Like, how was that transition from being in high school, being homeschooled in high school, to transitioning to the later part of your years? Did you go to college? Tell us a little bit more about that part.
Yep. So it was so funny. Graduating high school, I really did not know what in the world I wanted to do. And my mom was like, when you were younger, you loved computers. She would always put me in computer classes, typing classes, all kinds of tech classes. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I used to be that little girl that would watch Dale remote into the computer and like troubleshoot. And I'm there writing down the steps, all excited. One day I could do this. So she was like, how about you start, I guess, go to school or college for tech? And college isn't my thing. I don't like it. I don't like college. I just don't like it. And so it was this program like years ago, 6 years ago, where you can like intern after 6 months. So going through this program, and it was like hands-on experience in IT. So that's what I did. And I did really well. I'm very surprised. Graduated at the top of the class and everything. And I was able to get a few college credits through that course, or that mentor boot camp. I don't know what to call it. So yeah, I did that for 6 months, and then earned my internship at Navy Federal in desktop support. So I started there and stayed there in desktop support for 6 years. So I do have experience in tech. It's just desktop support just wasn't for me. Let's just say that it wasn't for me. Yeah.
I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about it. Wow, it's so funny that the seeds of who we are, we could have it revealed and seen at such a young age, that your mother is like, hey, computers are for you. Get into computers. But then you're like, I don't really like this part of it. So let me ask you this. What made you transition out of it, and what did you transition into?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So desktop, I love desktop, the fact that I can like serve. I love that area of it. I'm like the brain behind issues, things breaking. I can build a mean computer. So I love that part about it. However, being like the only Black woman on a large team of men, or being like the woman on a large team of men, it's just so hard. So I was just like, oh, was that part of it? And then on the other side, desktop is like labor. So I'm like lifting heavy printers, and it was a lot of that. It wasn't really ideal for me. And also, I was diagnosed with juvenile type 1 diabetes. It's basically chronic disease where I'm like dependent on insulin to live. So I have like insulin pump to me at all times. Man, that just having my insulin pump just rip out in the middle of working hard, it was a lot. And my health was so bad. It was so bad. So I was like, I need to figure it out. When COVID happened and like the whole world was shut down, we were able to work from home. So it made it a little easier, although I wasn't happy being on the help desk side and picking up the phone without a break. I didn't like that part. So I said, I have experience trading in the stock market. I've been doing it for 8 years, just studying. That's all I've been doing, just studying. And I said, starting during COVID, I was able to 3 times my income. So I said, you know what? I'm leaving. So I actually did a 2-month. I didn't put in a 2-week, did 2 months because they were good to me. And stayed so I can train the people and stuff. So I left and started a business. It started as a hobby. just teaching my friends, teaching my family how to trade in the stock market, just teaching them my strategy. And then someone came to me and was like, Paris, you got to teach, like, actually as a business. So she helped me put everything together, website together, brand, everything. And I started that, and man, it was amazing. Made 6 figures just off of that alone. Travel around the world, travel in different cities, in person and virtually. And that was amazing. It was amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah.
Okay. See, now we getting into this. And what SDRs do, we do discovery. So I discovered, I knew before, but for those that are watching, they probably discovered that you talked about trading in stocks. Let's go there for a second. How did you fall into that?
Okay, so my mom, she found something on YouTube, like we always do. And she's like, I don't have enough time to really understand stock market trading. But she was like working so hard, so tired. And she's like, this gonna get us out, because she was tired and stuff. She ready to delegate things to other people and not hoard all the money to herself. So she's like, if you learn for me and teach me how to trade, like, that's all I want you to do. So I didn't want to do it. I have a whole learning disability. You want me to learn how to trade in the stock market? But I did it. I just tried. I just took it day by day on YouTube, researching, and then I was hooked, fell in love. I said, I like this. So then every day, on the way to work, coming home from work, after work, studying, podcast, just trying to just put a whole plan together and all that stuff, like income plan, and it was amazing.
Wow. I know you're not like a licensed trader, so I can't ask you for some tips right now on camera. We can talk after. But anyway, but I think that is so cool that, you know, your mother, again, she's thinking about technology. She's probably thinking, okay, my baby have the aptitude to do all this. She can build computers, she can do stocks. Like, she is a Jane of all trades. And so I think that's really cool that your mother saw that in you and tried to extract that out of you, because the purpose there was for community or family economics to occur. It's okay, I got the business over here, but let's see what else we can do in order for us as a family to be able to be breaking out of this rat race. We don't want to be on the we don't want to be on this wheel no longer running around. We want to break out of this. And so if you're watching this, you want to break out of whatever place you're in, that's a great reason why you should consider Course Careers, because Course Careers is a great tool. Both Paris and myself have taken it, and it's honestly, I believe I can say this for Paris as well. It has changed our lives for the better. And it's allowed us, if anything, to provide us with skills. I feel like I'm like Mr. Neeson now. We have some skills that, right? No, I'm not talking about taking, I'm playing around. But like, we have skills that have allowed us to be able to grow in ways that if we wanted to actually move into business, we definitely can, because the skills that you learn, these are skills you could take with you. The job is great, but these are the skills that you could take with you, even your job in tech. And so with that being said, I'm going to pivot a little bit. It's a little bit darker, but I think people need to hear this about your story. You mentioned 2 things that were goals in your way. Talk about having a learning disability. Now, my wife and I, we took the time to get our children evaluated, because we want to make sure that we give them the best foot forward as early as possible. Can you talk about your journey traversing that space of the learning disability? And if you feel comfortable, if you mind talking a little bit more about what exactly that disability is?
Yeah, let's see. I don't think it was like an actual diagnosis of a learning disability, but in school we had like extra help, like teachers, or I don't know what you would call it, will pull us out of class, and we're in like reading and we're studying reading, and then after school we're pulled here. And then I knew it was really bad when they had us in a class with other children that, you know, that were like special needs. Because I have a cousin who was in school with us, and I was in his class, and I'm like, something's wrong. Like, why am I here? But anyways, fast forward, I've noticed myself just being super behind all the children, everyone getting stickers and getting celebrated, and like nothing for me. Yeah,
that's a challenge. I think I used to feel like something was wrong with me per se. And my wife, she's studying to be a counselor right now. And she's like, I have not been diagnosed as well, but she's like, hey, do you think you have dyslexia? I'm like, you can like when the words are jumbled up. Actually, there's different forms of dyslexia. There's actually types where your mind is moving at a speed and can't really kind of match it up. So oftentimes I have to kind of myself, and that's why I'm
Mm,
confused, and I have to learn how to practice being an SDR, because my brain could go, I could be all over the place, and I have
yes.
to kind of find a way. And it's different from ADD or ADHD. It's a different type of neurodiversity, but it's something that intrigued me because I'm like, man, maybe I need to get evaluated for that, because it's always been something.
Yes, I have the same thing. I literally experienced that same thing as an SDR. Like I'm working on something, but my mind is like somewhere else, and then it's like, all right, come on, snap back into it. Or so many different like distractions around. It's will it back in? Come on.
Mm,
So many. It's just a lot of challenges, but we doing it though. We doing it.
keep doing it. Yeah. So it's like a thought comes. I don't know how to describe it, because
Mhm.
the way she described it is different from ADHD.
Okay.
More like your thoughts are skipping, like your thoughts are not congruent. And so it's very interesting, because sometimes people, this is a little caution to everybody watching this. You may see somebody who might be a little bit quirky, and you love to, and especially in school, you like to make poke fun at them or say, oh, this person's this way or that way. Just that they're built a little different.
Yeah.
You have grace for us. We're just built a little
Please.
bit different, right? But hey, that doesn't mean that we're not intelligent. It just means that we're just a little something different.